Oh my God, clowns are my biggest fear, and all of a sudden there are like hundreds of clowns.
It's pandemonium. Honestly, we're like shook.
Get your friends, you gotta follow me. So Mortimer is ushering everyone into the arcade, and I'm just making sure everyone's in before me. And that was my biggest mistake.
Joey!
They're taking him to the murder van.
They got Joey! They got Joey! Joey!
Oh, this is terrible.
Get in the RV.
Oh my God!
I can't! Go to the stairway!
Okay, I'm going. Joey!
The carnival master will be released at sunrise, and this whole damn town is gonna burn!
Here we go again.
Oh, yes! Woo, indeed! Hello, world! What is up? Welcome to Build. I'm your host, Matt Forte. We are here live at the Build Studio in New York City. Now, I got a chance to speak to our next guest back in 2016 about season 1 of his show, Escape the Night, on YouTube Premium. I remember 3 things from that interview. 1, the show was original and fantastic. 2, I was blown away by the depth of this dude's creative energy. And 3, his hair was amazing. So, I'm not surprised. Here we are a few years later to talk about season 3 and everything else he's been up to. Folks, you don't need me to say it, but I will. The great Joey Graceffa is here. How about that? Make some noise for Joey. Right here.
See, I just come back for the compliments, honestly.
Oh, you just keep coming back, man. Keep churning out this show, and we'll keep having you back. Joey, congratulations, dude. Season 3, it's so wonderful. I got a chance to see a couple of episodes of the show already. I have a lot of questions. We're going to get into them, but first, it's been a minute. How are you? How's Joey doing, man?
I'm good. Just got into New York, and here I am.
Yeah, well, welcome. Thank you for being here. That's right. I was watching you were at VidCon not too long ago.
Yes, that was crazy.
That must have been crazy. Tell me about that. I saw the video. Walk me through it. You screened an episode of this, didn't you?
Yeah, that was insane. It was like an audience of close to 4,000 people watching the first episode, and it's so crazy to like see the live reaction from everyone and just like hear them laugh and like scream and just get excited about the show from behind the stage was really cool.
That's pretty wild. Yeah, you can't tell us from home. 4,000's a lot. There's like 10,000 people in this room right now. There is,
10,000.
yeah, at least 10,000 easily. That is ballparking it, honestly, especially up on top. So that's pretty amazing. You got to screen it. I know you were very excited to share it with fans. What was it like for you? Did you even see your show, or were you just watching the audience watch your show?
We were watching on like a little monitor behind the screen, and so I could hear the people, so that I didn't get to see them. Yeah.
Fair enough. Were there reactions at places that you had hoped and reactions at places you didn't expect?
Yes,
yeah.
Definitely. Especially with the ones that I didn't expect, which is always good.
Yeah, what does that do for you? Do you make what kind of creative mind, because we're going to get into that, do you hear that sort of thing, and do you just sort of live in the moment and enjoy it, or are you the kind of person that's like taking a note because you're going to use that information later?
Oh, like
when you're getting that response, when you're getting that feedback, when something that you don't expect happens.
Yes.
What do you do with that?
Well, I'm mostly just thinking, okay, if there's another season, how can I be more funny to make the jokes again that made them laugh the last time?
So again, people who have been following you and looking at this, they know that this season we have this crazy, creepy carnival aesthetic.
Yeah.
And I called you this backstage. I'll say it again on stage. You are the man of a million ideas. Tell me how and where you started to develop this game plan for season 3 to go to this spot.
Sure. So I wanted to take it to the next level this season, just because we've been playing in houses before the past 2 seasons, and we came across this like Western town location that was kind of like drab and like dingy. So I was like, oh, we need to spice this up and add a little gay to it. So I was like, oh, let's do it in like a creepy carnival, like colorful pastel world, and just liven this dusty old town up. So that's where the carnival came into place.
Was it an abandoned dusty town, or did this dusty town get the most fabulous creepy carnival out of nowhere for like a month or 2?
Pretty much. It's actually the same exact location that they shoot Westworld in. So
get the hell out of here, really?
Yeah.
No way.
So it's so crazy. Like you'll see in the first episode of Westworld of the second season of Westworld, they used it in the first season too, but in the second season, there's like all these dead bodies and you can just like, it's like a overhead shot of the same town of Everlock. And it's like, oh, wow.
That's so cool. That's a
Yeah.
fun little tidbit. I didn't realize that. With all the different sort of genres that you guys blend together, you know, it's unscripted, it's scripted. There's like, you know, panic room maze style puzzles and all these different fun things. What does a script, an average episode script, kind of look like? How does it start, and what does it end up looking like for you guys?
So pretty much the script is mostly just like the precursor of the episode. It's just something that really explains what's going to happen that episode for the viewer. But we usually shoot that after the whole YouTuber 5 nights of shooting has happened. So all the scripted stuff comes after that. But beforehand, we have an idea of kind of what's going to happen during the episode. The only thing I just don't know is how to solve the clues. So I'm actually getting to play the game with everyone else.
That's right. I remember that from last time you were here. You told me that, and I was blown away by it then. I guess I forgot it in 3 years and was blown away by it now, that you don't know how to solve the puzzles.
No.
So we actually get to see you work through these things and
you
enjoy
get
it.
to
It's all
see me
genuine.
struggle at times. But
You ever reached a point where you were like, somebody just tell me, turn off the cameras and tell me?
Yes. I'm like looking at producers and I'm like, guys, come on. We go way back. Come on, I need help. I'm looking like an idiot right now. Yeah, it's bad.
Oh my gosh, that's pretty amazing. I want to go back for a second because you kind of threw this away. 5 nights? Is that the whole show?
Yeah, it's 5 nights. We shoot 2 episodes a night. And it's so intense. We start filming at like 7 p.m. For a couple hours, and then we have like a 2-hour break in between episodes, which is the worst because by that point it's like midnight to 2 a.m. and we're just like relaxed in the RV, just chilling.
Oh my God.
And then we have to go out in the freezing cold and film for another like 4 hours.
That's wild. So you take that break, and yeah, I imagine you kind of lose momentum and steam in that window.
Absolutely.
Do you guys have like a warm-up, get yourself pumped up ritual, or you just all kind of accept fate, get out there and do it?
Well, that's the thing. Like, we're super tired, but once we get back into the world, like, of Everlock, it's just so crazy how the adrenaline just kicks in, and all of a sudden we're just ready to go. Because, like, monsters are coming out, and you're just, like, freaked out, and you don't know what's going to happen, so you're just on your toes.
That is part of the fun, is that yes, there's these supernatural elements. Yes, there's a scripted element to it, but it feels very much like a controlled chaos reality show kind of thing.
Yeah.
I imagine a lot of the stars and a lot of the guests are ad-libbing a majority of what's going on in between all those interactions, right? Like that's all them responding, just like you're figuring out the puzzles.
Yeah, the only scripted part is just the actors. Like, in this season, we have a woman, Calliope, and Mortimer, who's kind of, they play our helpers in the show, but they really just guide us from clue to locations that we need to go to. But it's really just the actors that exist in the world that we interact with that carry the story along. And honestly, we're just making up our own story as we go by ad-libbing with each other, creating drama, because there are stakes in the game where like people will be voted out and killed, and it's kind of like playing a game of like strategy and trying to survive.
That's fascinating. So you don't have ahead of time, all right, this person's going to get eliminated in
No,
episode 3.
that's all real, like, and it's so hard because we all bond.
Yeah, you're
so
all
it's
buds,
like,
right?
oh, I feel bad that I have to vote you out of this, kill you off in the show. It was really hard this season, especially.
So I guess at that point, that kind of answers my other question of how important immersion is, because we talked a little bit about this beautiful set, but I guess you're putting a lot of time into creating this environment because you want to create a space they can just come in and play.
Exactly. We want like people to immediately feel like they're in a different world, which the carnival really helped with that. We had a bunch of extras and clowns in the first 2 episodes. So it's like you walk into this town and it feels so real because there's all these extras that are playing in the carnival, and then all of a sudden all hell breaks loose and these clowns are coming and killing all the townspeople, and we're just like thrown into a frenzy where we have to run in, like board up a wall in our arcade, or I get taken into an RV, so we're being grabbed and taken apart from each other, and it just feels like a real life situation. But in the back of your head, you're like, oh, this is all fake. But Sophia Nygaard did not make the connection that it was fake. So she literally ran off set in the first episode. She got so scared by the clowns. So we're all like
Where did she
running
go?
off.
You're in the middle of nowhere.
She ran behind the camera crew and she was just hanging out with producers. She was like just ducking down and everyone's like, oh, where's Sophia? And she's just hiding. I'm like, girl, we're shooting a TV show right now. Where'd you go?
That is. Was she the only one that ran off and tried to run away?
She was the only one.
That's got to be frustrating, but also rewarding because it's like, oh, you've really done your job. You've made this place scary as hell.
Yeah.
She feels really immersed.
Yeah.
Yeah, success right there.
Exactly.
Speaking of Sophia is just one of the many amazing people that's part of the fun. That is the fun, right? That you get all of these great people to join you on this wild ride. And the cast this year, no different than the past years, amazing lineup. Yeah. And they all have amazing identities and characters, too. Do you cast for those identities? Do you think, like, I need a daredevil, so I'm going to find Guava? Or no, it's the other way around?
It's the other way around. First I cast, and then I'm like, okay, what archetype would fit into their person? To be honest, the director pretty much, Adam Lawson, he comes up with the archetypes because I'm so like, I don't know what archetypes were in the 70s. Yeah. I have an idea. Like I knew the hippie, the disco dancer, like the obvious ones. But he has more in touch with those things. But it mostly, for me, comes down to the outfit. I'm like, this outfit will look good on this person. So what archetype would fit that?
Yeah. Why 70s? Where did that come from?
We wanted to try a more modern era. So, and I was trying to think of like what era would look best with the carnival. And 70s just kept popping in my head.
Well, yeah, and 70s works too, because 70s, somewhat in the 80s, I feel like 80s scary and creepy and horror is more of like the Freddy and Jason, and 70s is more of like a grindhouse, Texas Chainsaw Massacre thing. Okay. And so when you put the 70s into this creepy carnival, your instincts were correct, sir.
Oh, okay,
it really works. It's really cool. What are some of the other, we talked about the aesthetic, we've talked about the decade you're in there. What are some of the other things, without spoiling anything, that you're really excited about for season 3? What did you do to make it special?
Okay, so there's definitely some new things, some twists and turns that we haven't done ever before in past seasons, which is really cool because it just spices things up and we'll keep the audience like not knowing what to expect. So there's that. This season, just everyone's so theatrical. Like they all have theatrical backgrounds. So it was really easy for us to play make-believe and bring the drama. So there's definitely a lot more tears to come and quite a bit of intensity between some people in the group, including myself.
These twists and turns, in the same way that you didn't know how to solve the puzzles, did you at least know the twists and turns were or no, because they don't... Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We gotta watch. I know that face. That's the
course.
you gotta watch face.
It's tough. It's so hard because like I am the creator and a producer on the show, so it's like I put a lot of my creativity into it, and there's a lot that I don't know, but there is a lot that I do know. But I play it off with the other YouTubers that I don't know a lot because I want them to feel like I'm still immersed in the whole world as well. But yeah, I know. And it's so hard also because like as I'm playing the game, I'm also in producer mode. So I'm like focused on everyone else's storyline and making sure that their character's coming out. So for like the first like 4 episodes, I'm just so like in my head making sure everyone else is having a good time on set and that their voices are being heard and they're getting a story. I remember coming home after the second night of filming and I was like, oh my gosh, I literally don't have a story this season. I was
gonna ask.
We need a shift, something that I was going to do in the later season and bring it next episode because it's just not working.
That's really fascinating because, yeah, one of the pitfalls of that, we're going to improv a lot of it, is if you're improving a lot of it, there's always a chance that some of it doesn't work, a lot of it doesn't work. So how do you fix that? How do you get a show out of that?
It's a lot of just like in the moment, just changing things. It felt like there was a thing that I needed to, I don't know how to like not spoil this, but there's something that I needed to do that there was a better moment for it.
Okay.
That my instincts were like, okay, I'm just gonna go for it right now. I know it's supposed to happen later, but we're gonna go for it now. And then also with season 2, spoiler alert, just in case you haven't seen it, I end up dying in the end of season 2. Yeah. And that was all just like last minute, like the day of. I went to the director and I was like, I want to die. Like, I need to die.
They're like, I know, Joey, but it's the last day. We're going to get through it. Don't worry. You're like, no, I'm the show. I want it.
Right, exactly. So yeah, just things like that will come up, and we'll just go with the flow.
That's so amazing to me. Did anybody, when you said, I want to die, did they go, but what if we get a season 3? And you're like, we'll figure it out.
No, that was why I was like, I wanted to leave on a cliffhanger, and then that leads into the season of like, I go into the world between worlds, and that's where I find out about this town that needs my help. Right. And gives me a reason to invite my friends back, because I've died, and my only way to come back to life is if my friends, sacrifice their lives for me. But they don't know that.
That old story.
Yeah.
But you guys, you do a wonderful job of tying it all together. I never would have guessed that you just kind of came up on the spot at the end of season 2. I was like, oh, it feels very intentional. You've pulled it off. So well done.
Awesome.
All right, so Escape the Night, season 3, episodes every Wednesday. So that's out there right now on YouTube Premium. I want to shift gears before we go to audience Q&A. We got a little bit of time left, but this is a big deal. This fall, Rebels of Eden is coming, man. Final chapter in the trilogy. Let's. Go ahead.
Yes. Yeah.
What can you tell us? Yeah.
This has been the most challenging of the 3 to create, just because it's the final one, and I just want to make it as good as possible. And it's so much to wrap up and to connect the dots between the last 3 books that it's been a struggle. And I just finished the first draft.
I was going to ask if it's done, because fall's a long ways away. Yeah.
It's not fully done. No, still got some work to do. But yeah, no, deadlines for books are like so crazy and like advanced. Like they need a lot of time to like make it come to life, I guess, through the whole copy editing phase and all that stuff. So yeah.
I imagine it's the polar opposite of the experience of ad-libbing and figuring things out.
Yeah.
Escape that kind of. It's like, no, this is a different world entirely.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: you talk about wrapping things up, and it's the final book in the trilogy. When you released the first book, did you know in your head then this is a 3-book story?
No, I didn't.
No, I kind of figured.
Yeah, no, I thought it was going to be 1 or 2 books, and then I don't know. There was more to the story that I wanted to tell, so I stretched it out to 3.
Yeah. What does that process look like for you, man? You're trying to get that draft down. Where do you go? Do you have a room that you go to write? How do you prepare?
Honestly, it can be anywhere. I just have to really just get in the mindset, and it's almost like a floodgate. Once I like allow myself to like get into the rhythm for like 10 minutes, it's almost like it takes on a life of its own, and it's like as I'm typing, it's like I'm seeing like a projection of it happening in my head, like a movie. So as I'm like, it's like I'm watching a movie and just like writing down everything that I see. It's pretty bizarre.
It's interesting because I know it's a big thing in your head that you would love to see who doesn't write a book and would love to see it become a movie? But you've talked about it before, that this would be a really cool thing. You're making the trilogy, you've got this solid story, and it would work really well on screen. But I was doing some math last night because I thought that was interesting, right? And as of last night, 8.8 million followers on YouTube, subscribers rather. And if they all were to buy, let's just average it out, let's say a $16 ticket opening weekend, that would give you a $140 million opening weekend.
Perfect.
Right?
Do you hear that, movie companies?
So that's exactly. So my point is simply, it could happen, but also you have that kind of audience, you have that kind of following now. You've reached those numbers. What is it about the big screen that is so romantic to you that you want to still make that happen? You were just called the king of new media last year by People magazine, and you're like, I want to conquer the old media too. Like, what is that drive? Where's that fire come from?
No, I've always loved going to the movies, and just. I think that's where my imagination came from as a kid, was just like seeing these movies and just how like mostly fantasy movies, and just like being so inspired and wishing that they were a reality. So I don't know, I just always imagined creating my own, or I was a huge fan of Hunger Games, and I desperately wanted to be in Hunger Games so bad. So I was like, you know what? If I can't be in the Hunger Games movie, I'm going to create my own book,
hold my own Hunger
turn it into a movie, and then be in my own movie.
Yeah. Well, man, if anybody could do it, I believe it'd be you. Like I said earlier, the amount of things you work on, the amount of stuff you process at once, the fact that you're holding down this show, putting out this book, keeping up on your channel, keeping in touch with your fans. I don't know how you do it, but I love that you do, and I love that you find time to come here and hang out with us. We're going to take some questions from the audience. I know we got mics. We want to start right here on the green couch. Let's
Hello.
go.
Oh my God, I'm shaking. Oh my God.
Don't be nervous.
Are you going to do other worlds for other seasons?
For like a 4th season of Escape the Night?
Yes, because I'm really excited for that. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I have like 4 more seasons planned out in my head.
really?
I do. But I mean, unfortunately, I don't get to decide that. So if I were to get the green light on another season, yes, it's already planned out in my head what it's going to be. And the way that season 3 ends is pretty shookerina. Like, wigs are going to be flying. It's intense, and it will lead into a potential 4th season that will be really freaking cool.
I don't doubt it. Great question. Thanks for that. We've got time for a few more. You said 3 more? Let's do right here.
Hi.
You are ready.
Gorgeous necklace. Where's that from?
Oh, I don't know.
Is that Crystal Wolf?
No. My question was, what has been your favorite episode or scene to film out through all of the seasons of Escape the Night?
Ooh. Okay. There's a really cool one this season that's coming up that involves multiple people, more than just 2 people in the elimination. So I would say probably that one.
Interesting. Love it. Thank you so much for that question. We got time for a few more. It looks like the next one's right here.
Hello.
So watching the show, I often am like, I wish I was there. I wish I was solving these puzzles. Do you think
cool.
you would ever turn Escape the Night into like a game so that fans can like try to solve the clues themselves?
Yeah, I have thought about it. I've thought about potentially doing like a board game version, which I think would be really cool. But I've also been like, it would be so cool if there was like an Escape the Night camp where kids could go to like
an experiential
camp.
thing that like people could sign up for and go to, like that, like, actually live Escape the Night.
Yeah.
Without the death, of course.
Yes, of course.
Mostly the puzzles.
It would be so cool to do like a camp or like a escape room tour around the U.S. where people could just come and kind of get an experience of what it would be like.
I'm going to say do both.
Yeah.
Not everybody can make it out. Make the board game, right? People get the board game.
Yeah.
Maybe people play that and they come to the... I'm just saying, these are great ideas. Man of a million ideas. I mean, technically, I think it was your idea, but you're going to make it happen.
Yes.
There we go. All right. We'll figure that out. We got a lawyer here on hand just for that. We've got, was that one more? All right, we're going to take one more question right here. Go for it.
I just want to say Escape the Night without death is basically a LARP, but also in addition to this larger mythology you've built up surrounding the Society of Evil, every season has had just such a unique world and aesthetic. What were your main inspirations for this season?
Oh, well, thank you so much. I wanted to do a season with either like a amusement park, or like something in that world, and amusement parks are just way too expensive to like rent out for a while. We've looked into it. Season 2 was almost gonna be an amusement park. But then I was like, I don't know, carnivals are just creepy in itself. So there was just so much imagery that came to mind with the carnival that just made it so easy to create an entire show around.
Yeah, I don't know when that happened, but like as a kid, carnivals weren't necessarily creepy, but nowadays, like they're very easily creepy. Like I don't know why, but it's gotten really easy for carnivals to be creepy all of a sudden. Guys, those are great questions. You are a wonderful audience, and Joe, you're a fantastic guest, man. I'm so happy you were here. I hope you had fun again.
I did, yes. I loved it.
Congratulations once more on season 3. I'll remind everybody again. Nobody in this room needs me to tell you, but I'm going to put it out there into the world. If you don't realize this, new episodes every Wednesday. Escape the Night YouTube Premium is worth checking it out. Keep an eye out this fall for the final book in the trilogy. Anything else you want to tell the people of the internet about, man, before we get out of here?
I don't know. There's
so much.
Yeah, there's going to be an announcement on my channel July 10th. Some exciting news. So
do we have an exclusive on the announcement for the announcement?
Yes.
Did we just get the announcement?
Yes.
Oh, man. Bill getting the announcement. Thank you, Joey. That was beautiful. July 10th?
July 10th.
July 10th, people. You heard it here first. You're going to hear it there. All right? Everybody, please do me a favor. Make a ridiculous amount of noise and join me in thanking Joey Graceffa for being here.